Okay, folks, here is how to set up your microscope, especially to make sure that your condenser is in the right position. I'll switch over to the camera I've got beside the microscope and show you the parts of the microscope that you'll be adjusting. So here is the focus. That's the focus just there. Around here, this round black knob on this microscope, very close to the condenser, is the condenser control. And what that does is it lowers and raises the condenser. You can see it going up and down now as I do that. And this here is the field diaphragm. We call it the field diaphragm because it's going to adjust the field of view that you'll see when you look down the eyepieces just here. And the diaphragm means very much like the diaphragm you'll see in a camera. It can open or close to let the amount of light through. And what this is doing in the field diaphragm is it is opening and closing the thickness of light that's coming up into the condenser here. So there's your light source. Over the light source is the field diaphragm, and then the light comes up into the condenser here, and then that focuses the light on your specimen, which is just here. I've just got some pond water in there, and I'll show you what you want to do to start. What you want to do is grab your condenser control just here, and you want to lift that condenser up. You can see the condenser rising up there, and you take it carefully all the way to the stop, all the way to the top, and then you stop. So don't jam it, otherwise you could damage that mechanism, and you can feel it stop there. And then once you've got it all the way to the top, just lower it down, maybe about 5, 6, 7 millimeters at that stage. And what you've done at this point is put it just right in the ballpark of where it's supposed to be. Now I'll switch over from the side camera. So hopefully you've seen all the controls that I've been or will be adjusting on the microscope. I'm going to switch over now to the microscope camera so you can see what's going on down the barrel. So here you can see the slide, and it's got a bit of pond water on it there. And this time I'm going to use the focus first, just to focus the image as best I can at this stage. So hopefully what I see will be what you see on the screen. There we go. And there you can start to see some of the algae and some of the organisms in the pond water. Next thing to do is go to the field diaphragm, that's just above the light source, and you want to reduce the aperture or reduce the radius of the field of view until it's around about 1/3, maybe 1/4 of the diameter of your field of view just here. And what you can see in there is that the edges of those leaves, the leaves are the part of the diaphragm that come in and restrict the field of view. They're looking really fuzzy around the edges. We want to get those sharp. What you do now is grab hold of the condenser control and push that back and forward until you see the leaves there, their edges starting to get sharp. And you can see they're starting to get sharp now in the diagram. It will be if I wake this computer up. So what you do is you bring up your condenser using the control and put it back and forward until those edges of the leaves look nice and sharp. Then what you want to do is get your field diaphragm here and open it up until the leaves are just at the edge of the field of view. And then open it up just a little bit more so your field of view now is completely visible when you look down the barrel. And it should look something like this. I'll stop this share and switch over to what the microscope sees. So now when you look down, everything should be nice and sharp. And you shouldn't see much background from different areas of the lenses in the microscope. I'll wobble the condenser up and down and you will see different things come into view. Can you see all of that interference you're getting there now when you've taken the condenser up too high? And when I lower it down too, you'll start to see dust in different parts of the optics. I'll just close this down and adjust it properly again. There we go. And then open up. Also, what you want to do, I'll switch back here to the camera so you can see the microscope. Now, depending on which objective that you're using, you want to make sure that the aperture rating down here, and I'll get the camera and show you what I'm pointing at. So at this point, you want to adjust your condenser aperture so that it matches the rating on your objective. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And you can see the rating here on your objective, which is 0.1. So you want to set your condenser aperture to match that. So you just push this around until you've got it on 0.1, like so. Now, when you look down the microscope, you can actually adjust your aperture here to get a better contrast and depth of vision. So when you change your objectives, you're getting higher in magnification, going to 10, it's got an aperture rating of 0.25, so you just get your diaphragm here in the condenser and you stick it to 0.25. On some different branded microscopes, they simply just have the magnification number matched on the diaphragm on the condenser as well. So whichever it's got, either aperture rating or magnification, just use those and match them up, and then you refocus again. And when you set your microscope up like that, everything should look beautiful from that time on.